Hello guys, hope you are able to listen my voice exactly. Can you please exactly write down in the comment section if you can, or in the chat section if you can see the video and listen my voice. In the chat section you can write down. I think you guys can hear me and you can see my screen also. That's good. So today basically we are talking about the JavaScript Fundamental, and this is just because of this is very powerful and the topmost language in last few years. And the reason is basically now the JavaScript is so much popular. There is basically this basically our machine and the client side. It's so much powerful. Actually, basically the JavaScript started exactly 30 years back, and now it's so much popular due to the exactly because our client side and our exactly system is actually so much powerful. So earlier what we are doing it, we are actually putting every stress or everything like the validations, all the checking, all the rules, regulations, we are putting it over there. But now we put it on client side. So that actually we will actually balance our load, whatever the load we need to balance out it also. So we can use the power of the client machines, and so that exactly we can use it more utilization and we can less stress on the server side. Earlier it's very hard to maintain it exactly such a thing. So earlier everything is we are doing on the server side only, and server side is so much heavy, and we have so many languages to do it exactly. The main is topmost is the language is Java, .NET, PHP and some other language also. But now the thing has been changed and we are using more and more on client side, means by through the JavaScript. We have the multiple language to do the server side, multiple language, but in the client side we have only one language, that is called JavaScript. In this basically JavaScript is basically used, we use the power of the HTML and CSS and we can manipulate our UI and we can show whatever the data we like to show it also. We can do many things that exactly we can stress, or you can say put a less load on the server side, like validations, we can checking business rule also, we can before exactly sending the data we can validate it also, we can generate the report, PDF, export data, all the things can be possible on the client side right now. Earlier it's not possible because now exactly the JavaScript is also every year is expanding day by day. So JavaScript exactly earlier was started exactly its version was changing, it's taking so much time, like JavaScript 1, 2, 3, 4. But in years 2015, after that version is continuously changing because they need to change it also because they need to compete into market. So now we have these versions and every year they actually going on and changing on. So right now we are in the 2020 and we have around I think is 10 or 11 version, one of them, and it's still continuously basically integrations. And once these version or once these things will be upgraded, the other framework of the JavaScript, that basically like Angular, like React and Vue, will also need to change it also, because they wanted to use the power of it and they wanted to make a developer life is also easy, and we can achieve more and more by the JavaScript. Along with the JavaScript, these things also changing, but day by day also, and that is also coming with the new feature. Whatever the feature we like it, whatever the feature we are using it also. Like earlier, it's very hard to get the scroll down, but now we can actually easily we can get by the smooth scroll it also. Earlier, everything we are achieving by through the jQuery. jQuery is also a very famous framework to manipulation the DOM data. But now we have the so many new framework that has been, and that is actually market is also has been changed. So now the client side is more demanding to server side. Now the people will be used to client side more and more. Plus they can use it if the server side some people have, that they can use their full stack also. So they can mix it these things and they can do it also. So JavaScript is basically interpreted language. So we have two kind of language, interpreted and the compiler language. So JavaScript is interpreted. So means exactly everything will be interpreted by line, and after that exactly executing line by line also. JavaScript is cross-site platform, means we can write down in any platform. JavaScript needed one platform, that is called browser. So JavaScript is running the only on browser basically. But apart from the browser, we have another solution also, like the software. I'm running the JavaScript. This is Windows applications, but similarly we have the Node.js also. The JavaScript basically by the Chrome they put it out at exactly one compiler that is called V8 compiler. So they come out at exactly, if you guys need to be run the JavaScript outside the browser, so that is possible through by the Node.js. It's been starting. Nowadays so many framework and so many things already has been came. They integrated exactly the basically V8 compiler and they are using browser or JavaScript runtime environment also. Okay. So JavaScript basically nowadays we can make it JavaScript application client side. We know that exactly because we have so many application also. We cite exactly Angular and such a thing also. Client side, server side also possible. In server side we have Node.js, Next.js and so many other framework also we have. Similarly in the desktop also can be possible, desktop application also through the Electron and some other actually technologies through the JavaScript. But single language we can learn, we can make it also games, browser extensions, desktop applications, okay, API development, mobile development, everything we can learn it also. That's why this is the topmost language in the last few years exactly, and it's continuously changing it also. So if I talk about the latest history about it, exactly 1995 it started. Exactly earlier we are using with the basically everything we are dependent upon HTML, CSS and everything exactly. So the point is, what is HTML, CSS, why we required it, and what the basically the role of the HTML, CSS also. Like take an example exactly, if we are buying a land and we need to be actually layout over there. So that layout is deciding like a way, we need to be the basically make a some room and we need to be make a one balcony and such a thing. So that structure or the layout is deciding by the HTML. And after that deciding by HTML what we want to be the padding, margin, style, color, that is provided by the CSS. So CSS is also playing the very crucial role to developing the web applications right now. And after that exactly the thing will become the third thing is the JavaScript. JavaScript is basically providing us to dynamic nature of the applications, like some modal pop-up, like some sliding, like some validations, well the dynamic, the programmatically. So it will giving us to the power to these two things, and using these two things also the JavaScript is actually modifying it also. How the JavaScript know about it, what the HTML has and how the thing is possible. So thing is basically the come into picture DOM. So once we will run our applications or basically form on browser, our browser basically detect all the HTML node and convert into the DOM. That is basically document object model. And that DOM later on JavaScript will be understand. So definitely the DOM should be loaded first, then only JavaScript can be understand. And according to that JavaScript can manipulate it also, whatever they need it also. Like after that till 1996 and 1999 or you can say 2004, nothing JavaScript has been changed, lot of things, but only very simple things will become, and we are almost only dependent upon the server side. But after the 2005, the thing has been came into the one thing that is very popular, even now is also popular, that is called jQuery. This is the first framework that is most popular, you can say. In 2009 around, the one more framework is coming, but that is actually totally moved out from the market very soon. That is called Knockout. Might be some people know about it also. And after that, this one is coming. And this came, the power, the UI developer, the job has been came in the market. The people are more oriented, Angular has been came, and that's made by the Google itself. In 2015 around, we got the other framework that is called Angular plus React plus, and that is also booming in the market, and UI developing is also will become very fast. Everybody's needed actually UI developer, we required it. With the server side also, if you know that actually UI developer required. But in 2018, the few things also has been changed, and we got an actually new thing also, that is basically Next.js, that is made by Facebook. Basically you can say that it's actually competitor of the Node.js, or you can say equivalent to Node.js, that will give us to. Another thing is actually coming as to basically which is called GraphQL. That is basically to fetch the API, or you can say query on the database and such a thing. we use the GraphQL also. Okay, and we have the some other thing also that gets by. That's also very good exactly if you need to make e-commerce and CMS kind of structure that is inbuilt. They has the GraphQL and such a thing also. We have very good new thing also, that is Storybook. There we can put our control and we can use it also. We have so many other thing also like Motions UI, Tailwind we have. There we can use it also. So nowadays these things are also very popular in the UI developing exactly along with the other technologies. So basic things is actually everything is the goal is basically we need to understand what is the JavaScript, by which we can understand all the stuff whatever actually I noted down over here. So JavaScript is the basically the main thing and the very crucial things to be learning about it also. So JavaScript, as I told you, is using the basically power of the client machine and rendering the basically the whatever the basically we design as a developer we design and you can render out it. So it's actually like the very famous thing is basically Ajax, the partial page post back, partial page update it also, animations. These things we can easily be able to do it. So JavaScript has so many advantages, but there is some disadvantage also that we are dependent upon to server-side language. The very few is the disadvantage is also, that is basically one of them is basically compatibility. Still, because every browser has the different company, but actually there is some standard also they are making, but we struggle somewhere the compatibility issues also. Some browser is running, some mobile browser is running, but some browser is breaking it also. So these is also we are facing it, we need to be take care of this thing. But we have so many other framework also like Core.js and some other thing also has been came, that is compatibility will be the taken care by them, like Babel.js, so many plugins we have, but still we need to be test and we need to verify it with the different new browser and new extensions. We need to be check it out also, because right now we have the so many other thing also along with the developing like accessibility. Some browser maybe the support something, but some browser didn't support it due to the exactly VR version difference and the client didn't updated it. That is the problem. The another is basically the main factor is another one is actually the where the JavaScript actually depend upon the server side, that is called security. JavaScript still provide the security whatever the security we like it, but still require the more security. So that's why we depend upon to server side. So we want to be store our data, whatever the login, authentication, registration data we wanted to be stored into the database. So that's why we require the basically the server side, so that they can understand our data or store the data into the database, and whenever we require, so they can fetch back it also to us. Okay, so that's why we are depend upon to server side and the client side, and the one job is basically in the market is called as full stack. So that basically if this person know about it exactly both the thing, or you can the single person army, he can do actually both the things. So that is called full stack job, and they can actually make it by anything. So it can be that combination of any technologies also, and we can use it also like .NET plus Java plus Angular. Anything can be combined with any server side and any client side language that can be possible. JavaScript has basically any programming language. Once we have started, we have basically to building blocks, you can say, where we will store our data. So every data we will store it, there is one type of the data we call it. So JavaScript has the few data type exactly that we can store it, and few is very common with every programming language. There is no integer, but we call it as a number. Okay, we have the string, we have the boolean. After that exactly we have the strings database that is called null, and we have another one is called anti-body. So these are the basically the 5 database that earlier we have before the JavaScript 6, but after that exactly we got a new data type, you can say, that is called symbol. So symbol is basically new ES6 actually they want, and they bring it also. Even many people manywhere exactly we are not using, but symbol is very powerful thing by which exactly we can exactly uniquely, but means point of symbol means one symbol we made that cannot be equivalent to the another symbol. That is not possible. So symbol is basically directly functions, okay, not by using making any object, directly functions, and we can make it also. And the symbol is good thing is only one good thing is the one symbol if you will make it that cannot be equivalent to the another symbol. So suppose actually I make it exactly x1, this is basically I'm declaring a variable with the x and I'm writing down basically over here symbol. Okay, it can be anything. I wrote down the test over here. Similarly I make it to x2 and I made it exactly symbol over here, and I will make it the test over here. If I say x equal to x2, then basically it's saying it always false. But It's similar to that. That is the beauty of the symbol, because it never be equal over there. Plus, this is the one thing that exactly we know about it. Even you guys heard about it. Also, symbol cannot be equal to another thing. Another good thing about the symbol is basically symbol is attached to the basically object. Object is nothing. Object is also basically in JavaScript. There we have the key value properties. If we will attach with the symbol with the object as a property, so that object is basically private, means we cannot see it also. So earlier the JavaScript does not have such a thing to private, we cannot expose it outside of that from that particular object. But now with the symbol, that thing we can also achievable, and many thing already in whatever the application we are using like Angular or React, they have inbuilt such a feature it also. So once we will learn the object and other thing, then we will actually, I'll give one example of the symbol, how we can use it and how the privately it will storing the value, so that exactly we cannot expose it outside. But sometime we need to be actually get it the value also, then how we can use it also, and what's the basically the use case of the symbol it also. Okay. So JavaScript basically we used earlier the var keyword only. The var is basically just to declare a variable, the var x equal to 10. So it has two things. One is to basically name of the variable, another is distinct the value of the variables. Okay. Basically this is basically some advantage or some disadvantage also, you can say. That's why in JavaScript 6 they evolved actually new data type, because there is no such kind of keyword that is called constant earlier. So that's why they bring it the new two things that we can use it exactly, and that is called let keyword. That is basically we can say let z equal to 10, and constant keyword. Constant generally we should be give it to capital letter, so that exactly we can identify this is the constant by the naming conventions, if we can say that. But if we can give it any other thing also, like the you can say API URL, anything it can be possible. So we are giving the basically exposure, anything can be. Okay. Constant is the beauty is this one, once it will make, as the name suggested, constant, you cannot change it. Okay, so you cannot change it also. And similarly the let, basically you can change with the let, but let is will bring us to the new thing. The constant and let actually bring us to new thing, that is called, we called as a block scope. Block scope is basically nothing. So if every curly bracket has, if inside in it, if anything we will write down inside the curly bracket, that we can use it inside in the curly bracket only. We cannot access it inside outside of it. Take an example. Suppose I have one user ID and we'll say it basically 10 over here, and if I write down over here and we will see the var user ID again, if I'll say it exactly 20 over here, and if I'll try to access that user ID further, so what I will get it exactly, I will get 20, right? Why I will get it 20? Just because I wrote down, it's overwritten over there, that is naturally, right? But in case of the let, the same thing, if we will go with the same example over here, let user ID, or you can say user1 ID, I can change the name of the variable, otherwise it will create a problem. And if I try to access it over here, this is the basically user ID 1, and basically I will do 200. Now we can see, so we'll get it 10 only. But whenever I try to access the basically inside in it, I'll get it basically the user ID is the 200. Because this user ID, the variables, we can access into the bracket only. We cannot access outside. The life of the basically, or you can say scope of this particular variables is only inside in it, not outside of this. So this is called scope. Scope means where the things we can access it. Well, where is the limitation of that particular things we can access it. How far it we can go it also. So we have scope. Scope of the variables means it can be accessed inside in it only. We cannot access outside of that. But this variable is called global variable. We can access outside of that. So by this bracket we can bind out. Basically we can bind the basically the variable inside in it, or we can access inside in it also. But in the var there is no such a thing actually happening. Okay. There is another thing also. We can declare variables over here like let z1. We can declare. But this declare the variables whatever we have, that is actually will come actually undefined. Okay, so we cannot see undefined over here, but it will come as undefined. But in the constant we cannot declare variables like a way. If you declare a variable like a way and if you try to access that variables, we'll get invented error. It's saying that constant declaration means you need to initializations, because initialization is required in the constant, because we cannot change it later on. So at the time of basically declaring a variable, we require to initializations. So So these are the basically three kind of variables that were constant, and that is basically the changing the way of the basically defining, and we have the variety of the way we can define our variables. And variable is very crucial because we need to be calculate some data, we can manipulate, we can concat, we can exactly the pass as a parameter also, and that is very crucial to be used in any programming language, not in JavaScript also. Okay, but now the string is actually not a simple thing in any programming language. Okay, string is little bit complex always. So I'm declaring a string over here, and if I need to be concat with another string, so simply I need to be write down like a now later on I can actually access it. The string is nothing simply basically to storing the value in the basically single quote or double quotes. It can be hold the multiple character, it can be hold the integer, and other data type also can be possible to do it, and we can actually convert it also, we can casting it also into different data type. So the string is also new thing into JavaScript 6 is actually coming, that is called basically JavaScript, we call this actually literal is basically nothing. So there basically we can exactly manipulate, that is called template literal. The concept is called template literal. The template literal is over here. So what we can define the string exactly, we can define the string like actually I will define a string over here, and by the single, this is called backtick, that basically the quotes is not single quote, this is backtick, and there we can define whatever we like. Suppose take an example, I'm just declaring a variables that is basically we called it exactly x or that, and inside in it I'm saying hello new. So I can declare it anything exactly whatever we like it to be right down. So if I can access it exactly, we'll get access hello xyz. So there is basically the beauty of that. We can actually you can say expressions, we can use it, or you can say interpolations, we can put it any variable inside in it, and we can exactly manipulate the current string over there. So it can be anything, not exactly like basically the new variables, it can be the complex to complex data can be put it also over there. So we can see we have the current date over there, the current date and time over there, right? So similarly we can exactly make it. So this string is actually the string interpolation, so you can say basically template literal is very powerful thing. Like suppose we have the one template, we decided like we need to be sent to the basically 1,000 people, like email template. We need to be change the user name only on there, and so that we can send it the same template to the multiple user. So we have one user list, here we will loop out it one by one list, and we will send to the data to the basically to the, we will actually convert the data with the template literal, like as I did it over here, and simply we will send it to the that mail to the different people automatically. So earlier it's very hard to be concatenation with the plus sign and such a thing, and there is so many advantages over there. This is by using it, and this is a good thing is also how you are formatting, that automatically will come the same way because it's pre-formatted over there. So this is also the new thing that by which actually developer can make life there will become easy, and they can actually use it actually many things. If they wanted to be the concat mixing with the different string, so they can easily use it also. Okay, after the string we have the string multiples method. String method basically we have there we can actually get the substring, there we can get exactly the basically the finding out the string, replace of the string, and there are so many things method we have it also, and there we can change it also. There are few methods that we should be focused out it exactly that I'm listing out over there, guys. You can check character at is basically to find out the character at some positions over it. Include is really beautiful method that if you wanted to be figure out it, if some character is include or not, it will giving us to basically true or false. Okay, suppose actually I wanted to be check it out at okay, we will say it over here, we will say xy over there, and we will say one string hello world. So I wanted to check includes inside in it if I have hello or not exactly, I'll get it true just because of I have. But if I check it out the hello one, no, I didn't get it just because of hello one does not exist into this particular string. So there is a some small method that is predefined method that is actually already exist in our system that we can use it. We don't need to write down the logic for this one from the scratch. Okay, there are so many methods that actually string is providing us to, but there is a few method we should be focus out it that basically we are using in normally in every case in life. We will make it some applications we are using it. Another method is called index of. Index of method is basically to get index. Suppose actually I wanted to get the index of the basically O letter, or you can see, suppose I wrote down a variable that is called email over here, and here I just need to be get it over here gmail.com. So if I need to be get the variable that is basically at the rate, or I need to be know what is the domain we are using, domain basically email domain that is called Gmail, or it can be the live.com, it can be XYZ also. So what we need to do, we need to be just get it the index of, and we will get it the whatever the index we have. So we'll get the third is the index. It was started with the 0, 1, 2, 3, and we will get the third one, right? Once we get the third one index, we can use the basically the substring part over there. There is also 3 method that we can use it also. One is to call slice, substr, substring we have. We are just exactly using whatever the basically index value we will get. We are just putting the index value over here, and we will write down the index over here. So finally we got an ABC. Now we wanted to be the basically this part also, the second part of it. So what we will do, we will actually just pass the index, and we will just pass the +1, so that actually we don't want to be the at the rate over here. So it's very easy to figure out it by the index value, right? So index is also one of the methods that is very useful in the basically in the string part. And similarly the index, actually we have the one more method that is called last indexer. Last indexer basically very rarely used whenever actually we have the something, you can say in a particular string, when we have two kind of stuff from the we can, because index is always giving from the starting point, never giving from the if it is found it over here, it never check this one. But if you wanted to be check it from the behind, so what we will do, we will use the last indexer. So last indexer is giving only this particular thing, not from the starting. It will check from the there what is the index of this particular dot, at the rate, or anything can be possible. So this is the fourth method that we can use it exactly very much. Another method is called slice, or you can say substr, or you can say substring. Okay. So these are the 3 methods, almost same, but very minor difference they have, and we should understand the difference also. So another method is very popular is the replace. Replace is basically if anything we have, we want to replace it with some other string. So that is also very simple to use it exactly. Suppose I have email, I want to replace in the email. So at the rate I wanted to be replaced with the $. So simply I can replace it also, and simply I can display out it also if we have. So suppose actually I change it over there, email, 1 second, comment out this particular line of the code, you can see at the rate will be converted into the $sign. So replace is also very much using, and that we can get it also value over there. Okay, so these are the few methods that we should use it also, and one more method is basically sometime we use it whenever we require it, that is called lowercase, uppercase, or you can say to local, lowercase and uppercase. Local means it will basically according to your culture wise, according to where you are running your browser wise, or you can pass the basically the language specific thing also inside in it, the basically the constructor functions. So this is called constructor functions over there, and we can pass it also in the basically function parameter, we can pass it. So suppose take an example, I have the one city, basically we called it actually Istanbul, and after that exactly I just wanted to be know exactly to local uppercase. Take an example, we'll use it basically by default. Actually if you will check the uppercase of that particular thing is basically 1 second to local uppercase. So this one, so we'll get it actually English, because right now is my culture of my system is actually English. But if we need to be change it to English to some other, then we can change it also. We can say if I'll change the basic, this is basically the different programming like Turkey and exactly the local, and there you can see the symbol is actually converted over here. Similarly other language or other country we can supply it and we can change it also. So JavaScript is providing such a thing also, because earlier we are facing so much problem, but that problem is resolved by these things and we can easily utilize it also. Okay. So these are the string and strings method, we should use it also. After the string we have object. Object is nothing basically, object is basically in the curly bracket, and this is called blank object, and we can put it anything if we like to put it at the time of declaration also, or later on also we can add it also. Take an example, I'm just writing basically over here anything, and I'm just writing here over here. I can get this object value by simply by name, by dot property, or by simply by dynamically like it also. all the things can be worked. Later on also, if I made one object, I wanted to just add the object value, I can add it also simply. Okay, even I can remove it also if I don't require the basically the object value. I can delete it also if any value I need to be deleted also. So if I'll check it out exactly what basically we got it object, so we can get it also. So this is the object we have right now because we deleted that particular object value. Okay, so these things actually basically we was actually working with the JavaScript 5 and even earlier version also, but JavaScript 6 actually little bit actually the guys change it also. Okay, so let's take an example where object where employee is basically one object we have, and here I have variables name exactly over here is John over here, and what we need to be write down, we need to be write down the name equal to name. So rather than writing down name equal to name, we can write down name only. That is also perfectly fine and it will work it also. In JavaScript 6 they change it over there. If you don't need to write down the name, colon name, so you can directly write down the name only. That is also will work. Suppose I need to get the get name. So earlier what I need to write down, I need to write down get name. This is the functions I need to be write down like a way earlier, and I need to define them over here. Whatever the functions we like it to access it. This one name. But now these things also has been changed. You don't need to write down the functions keyword directly. If you have the functions, you can write down directly. You don't require it also. So these are the basically the JavaScript 6 few, you can say, object enhancement. These are the few things the JavaScript 6 is bringing it as for us. So object is very powerful thing, because actually when we are actually dealing with the API or actually complex data like the JSON, then we'll use the object is very much. Object is basically, you can say, inside the array we have the object, array of object, and that basically we will access it, we modified it, we will calculate the value, and we can use it also. So suppose actually I have one object that I made it over in the top of it. Suppose I wanted to be loop run on it also. So JavaScript 6 is bringing us to a new method that is called object dot keys, or values also we have. That is later on they will bring it, but we have. So the object dot keys is nothing is to basically giving us in the form of array all the keys. Plus we have one more function that we can utilize it, and we can use it basically if we need to be access the basically the value of it. So I can say for in function, there we can directly pass the object and we can get the value of the basically object over here in the form of the key. Or if I require the basically the value also, then I can get it also. You can see both the thing I'm getting it. So this is a function that you can accessible object keys and values property, or if you wanted to be converted into the array in the form of this way, or I can say over that way. So we can do able also. There is one values also we have. So values is also giving us two values, keys is also giving us two key only, and if we need to run a loop, we can run it also. So that is actually things, the both the thing into coming after the JavaScript 6, and this is JavaScript 6 and this is the later on it came, and this is earlier we have, and we can use it actually to pass as an object, and we can accessible also. So this is the object over there. After the object in JavaScript, we should be learn the basically array, and that is actually, you can say, most important thing into JavaScript to learning out, because array is everything over there. Array has a lot of function also, we should be understand, we need to make it also, because every collections or every JSON value we will get it only in the form of array only. So we should be know about it also, what the array, how to get it the value, index of value includes functions, maps, filter, data is also. So array is actually very powerful thing. Take an example of array. Suppose I have the few number, I will say 50, or a random number, it can be possible 871. So what I need to do, actually I just need to filter out the array values. So what I will say it actually array, we use the filter. Right now we are basically, every example we need to use the arrow functions. I'll tell you what is the significance of arrow function also, but earlier days actually we are using the normal functions. So this function is the callback functions. What is the callback, I'll tell you into some other videos. Callback is basically, there is also some history behind it, and exactly what is the benefit of it and scope it also I'll actually explain you in some other video. So return item. So I wanted to be return out all the item that is actually greater than basically means a 40. So it will return out all the item that is actually greater than there. Sorry, I mix it with the arrow. I don't want. So right now you can see these are the three number that are actually greater than this one, and that we easily we can accessible also. Okay. Similarly, if I have another function that I also call map. Map is also similar to that. Here I'm using arrow function. I'll tell you what how we can use the arrow one also later on. So return item. All the item I just wanted to be add the 5 number. I will get it the all the item. I'm adding the 5 number. So map is basically running on all the basically the element of the array. Filter is basically to filter out. Filter is basically you can see if you learn the basically database term that is called where clause. Where is basically the one keyword there we can use to filter the data, or you can say suppose multiple country data I wanted to just filter out it. Okay, today the current country or the current cities people I just wanted to fetch it only. That only we can fetch it from there. So other actually we do other will be the excluded from there. So this is basically all these functions are working on the true and false only, and we have so many functions of arrays actually every year. JavaScript also the guys are actually MD, and they say basically they are actually updating the JavaScript. So they what they guys are doing, they are actually putting the new functions so that actually our life will become easy and we can access more and more exactly from there. So there is so many functions that is also. So whenever actually we'll topmost function if we'll discuss about the array one, that is called map, filter and reduce. So three function will become, that is you can some programming language we call is basically high order functions we can say. So we'll say reduce. Reduce is also one of the function that is very famous. So that is basically to get the aggregate of the data. Like suppose actually I have the number, I just wanted to be figure out it what is the basically the total all the number over there, or sum of the number, then we can use the basically reduce over there. So if I can say x or y over here, this is the two things I will say it. Reduce is actually good thing. If I suppose I wanted to be add some initial value, we can add it also. So I will say x plus y. So what is the x? X is actually starting is basically 100. What is y? Y is nothing basically. Y is basically the 1 by 1 running in the loop basically. The total of this particular number plus 100, if you will do that, is actually total sum will become 398. We don't need to run the separate loop on it because that is inbuilt, we have it also. And such a function right now exactly we have in some other programming language also. And that is actually we don't need to be basically to put the logic, we don't need to be check something, that automatically is provided by over here and we can utilize it also. So we don't need to be basically, and there is a lot of functions, not this one, we have other function also there, we can get it also, find index of basically filter the values and some other thing also. And one more thing, actually these function is basically using a chaining purpose. Basically we can use the one input, we can use the basically another output also. So one function is giving the output, we can use the actually input of another function. Take an example over here. Suppose I have filter as we did it over here. So we will say item, I will say item basically whose value is actually greater than 40, that as we did it on the top. Now I will just exactly map over here another basically the function, and there exactly I'm just item basically plus 100 all the item exactly whatever that we have. So you can see earlier we got it exactly over the item this one, and 100 number actually I'm sum of it. So this is the one function I'm using on the basically on array. Another function also I'm using, this is called chaining of the functions. So that is also already the made, we have it also, we don't need to make it also. Okay, so let's example of the next thing is we have JavaScript functions. Function is basically you can say this when we run the multiple set of statements, then we require the function. Function is very crucial for any programming language also. So function is basically if the set of the statement we wanted to execute multiple time or basically on some scenario base, then the function will be coming to picture. So JavaScript using the function keyword, there we can declare any functions if anything exists. Suppose actually I'm declaring get employee over here, and I will just doing it over here. So get employee basically nothing, so actually I'm declaring one variable, so I'm just taking the one name from as a parameter, and I will just decide down over here console.log, and we will write down over here. So over here we'll see the hello, and whatever the person name I will pass exactly we can see it also. So this is the function we made it. So if I'll access the basically get employee functions over here, and I will pass the basically xyz or anything, I will get a reply over here immediately. Okay, the function is basically, it can be one statement, it can be 20 statement, it can be 100 statement also. So we can access it the functions. Okay, similarly in JavaScript we have the basically anonymous function, function expression, or you can say function, the single line function we can make it also. That basically is similar to that right now whatever I made, but there is also some difference definitely, so that's why we have the two different things. So I need to make it like a way over here. So this is also similar, same output will become right now, but exactly definitely there is some difference, so that's why we have the two different thing over here. Okay, some other video I'll tell you actually what is the difference between these function and how many way we can actually declare the functions. Okay, there is a number of way we can declare the function that also. Similarly, we can actually declare functions like add, and similarly we can take the two parameters that x, y, z exactly, and I need to be write down the function first x, y, z, and over here I will say it exactly return x plus y over here. So if I'll do over here and if I'll say add over here 10 plus 15, I will get the result over here 25. So if this function, if I need to convert into arrow function, same syntax we will copy and paste. What we will do, we'll remove the function keyword and we'll use the arrow over here. Simple, straightforward, nothing else. And I can access, still I can access the, I will get it exactly same result almost. So you can see I'm getting same result over here. Now if I need to be more, basically I wanted to be, basically it should be less lines, so what should I to do? By default arrow function is returning itself, so we don't need to write down separately, so we can say x, y over here. This is also similar, same result. The way of the writing down, basically we can make it exactly very simple, straightforward also, like in the Java, Python, C# we have that is called lambda expressions. Okay, so this symbol is lambda, but in JavaScript we call it as arrow, fat arrow also we call it. So by which exactly we can make it as easily function. So arrow left side we have parameter, right side we have the body of the functions, so we can make it very quickly functions, like I'm making it over here. Suppose actually I pass a num over here, I don't need to pass a basically parenthesis bracket just because of this is only one single actually parameter over here, so I can just pass num multiply by num, and if I'll check the square of it, I can get 9 square, I will get the 81 over here. So this is basically how to declare functions, arrow functions, function expression, and normal function statement, and we can utilize it anywhere, any multiple time we can call it also, and we can use it also. Okay, there is also one more very crucial thing exactly we developer is always facing the challenge over here, that is called, suppose that is called call by, reference by, and you can say to modify any existing actually data type, or you can say object. Then what the problem will be? Suppose I have variables over here, so what I will do exactly, x equal to y, and here the y value I will change it over here actually and make it 20. If I will do the console log of x and y, I will get it exactly both the thing. So y I didn't declare, okay, that's fine. So let's say y or x over here, and x I will declare also y. Okay, so now we can see both are the two different things. Even I assign this value, and but it will take the separate memory, and it will exactly two different things we have it also. Okay. But in the other hand, suppose actually I have one object over here, and I have name, take the same name xyz, and we'll say age is 20, and after that I will declaring one more exactly object is basically another object, an obj. Another object actually I'm just putting one more thing that is called salary over here, that is basically called something, and after that exactly I just wanted to be check what is the basically the both the object, this one and that one. Okay, so we'll check both the object has the basically same property, but here both the properties added over here. But in case of the basically the variables, we have the two separate variables actually, and two separate values actually we are holding it. At that values, if we are actually updating over there, that value is not updating into this x variable. But here in the object, exactly if I'll update the value from one object, that is updating into another object. Also, salary I added into another object, but object is also updating. So that's why, because actually they are basically referencing both the single memory, or you can single point. They are referencing the two different variables. This look like as a person has a two different name, but here we are declaring the two different person. Okay, so we are giving the one values to the 10 to the one person, other values 20 to the other person. But here is the one person, only one person has, but we are giving another name. The declaration and everything will be the same, but there is actually object, and there another one is what we called is actually normally variables, that is primitive variables. So now if I need to be changed and I wanted to put it both the thing to be separate, and this is really every day we are using into different purpose. Well, because I don't want to modify the original array, original object. I wanted to be the whatever the modified one, I just wanted to use it. This can be the number of the way we can use it also. The first way, basically, if I need to use it all, so what I will do, whatever the object I made it over here, so I'm just actually redeclaring below so that we can understand it also over here. So over here I can say, yes, I think I get it also test. Yeah, I'm getting it. So you can say basically object slice. I can say the first method is actually I'm differentiating the function with the slice. So what I will do exactly while I'm giving the functions to the I will use it actually with the help of the slice. Okay, the slice is always taking the whatever the parameter, but slice is actually not a function of object, or you can say array. Slice is basically function of string and array, not a function of the object. So we cannot use it. But if we have the array or the string, then definitely we can use it also. But we have some other method also, and that is very famous method right now. The people are using basically spread operator. We'll use the spread operator, and we can see salary is also only there we have. Okay, so I can see it's spread operator. Okay, now another example, we can do the same thing by object.assign. Object.assign is also exactly the other way by which we can exactly separate out it actually these variables, and we can accessible also. Okay, we don't need to basically mix and match, and we can actually separate out it. How we will use it actually? Object.assign it also came into the JavaScript 6 exactly. Earlier we does not have, so I will say object.assign, and we need to tell this is a blank object. We need to mix it with the another object over there. That's it exactly. So where is the object.assign is not function? Okay, that might be this one is not supported. No, actually I'm mistaken. No, actually it's supported. Yeah, so over here we can see this is also maintaining the two separate object. It's not exactly updating the one object, and on the basis of another object is also not updating. It's maintaining the two separate object also. There is also some other technique, like the basically we have the JavaScript stringify, the by which also we can differentiate it also if we need to be differentiated also. Okay, the function is very powerful thing. In JavaScript also we have that is one more actually concept is called closure, or you can say currying exactly. Currying by which exactly we can exactly put it actually multiple bracket over the functions. Suppose actually I'm showing one example. Greeting is the basically one. Here exactly I'm pass the greet, whatever we wanted to be pass the greet, and a return functions used. Here I will just write down the console.log, and this is actually we'll use a template literal over here. We'll say greet, and we will pass the user. So what happened over there? I can call the greeting functions. I can pass the basically hello over here, and by the currying I can put it exactly in the name actually beside of that over here. Then output will become the like a way whatever we want. So that concept is basically we are using closure plus we are basically using the currying, so that we can pass it like a way, and we can multiple use it also. So rather than putting into the basically in the same bracket, we can actually put into separate also. That can be also possible. So it can be the number of return statement also, so we can put it the number of brackets over here also. So it depend upon to how much exactly bracket we wanted to put it on. So this is also the one of the example of the using how to use the basically the functions. Another JavaScript has basically not before the basically JavaScript 6, that is for class. Class is basically, you can say anything is the classification in the world. If you need to be separate out, so we will call it as a separate entity, like the human, animals, vehicles. It can be anything also. So class is nothing actually. They have the some exactly functions, and the basically the function we call as the behavior and the properties. We will put it into the one some class, or you can say one enclose into the one class. We will actually give some name, and we will say that exactly this is the name of that, and that has such a functionality, whatever inside in it, the behavior and the properties are provided by it. So take an example. Suppose actually I have one function, it's very simple, straightforward. The employee class always start with the first letter is always capital. We should make it, but we can make small also, but yeah, by the naming convention we should maintain the first letter always the capital always. So class has the one special function that is called constructor. Constructor is basically every programming language has, not exactly in the JavaScript also bring it. So constructor means anything you wanted to initialize. So whenever exactly we wanted to make a class, so we wanted to initialize. Take an example, I was making one mobile, so I wanted to initialize the basically initial requirement like operating system or some charging functionality or something, so that we can use it later on also. So if anything we need to be initialization, so I need to put it over here. So I'm just saying it exactly this dot name, I can pass it over here. So name means exactly the name I will receive from as a parameter of the constructor. And I'm just making very simple, straightforward. So get employee info. Get employee info is the basically function. One more important thing in JavaScript class, we should not use the var keyword when we are declaring the JavaScript variable, and we should not use the functions keyword over here when we are declaring a function of the class. That is actually JavaScript improvement, and they are saying that we don't require to separately write down over there. So here exactly I'm simply writing on this one. All the class we can make the object of this, so we can say employee over here. So I'm saying ABC is a basically object, and here exactly pass new employee, and here we will say employee basically anything we can say ABC. If I say ABC dot get employee info is nothing, so this employee info I'm just trying to call it. So I initialize with this particular name, so that variables will be stored into this name, and later on I can access this name by this one. This keyword is very crucial over here. This means basically belongs to the current object. So what is the current object over here? So class means once we will make the class, we can actually create the number of object. I can create the number of object like once here over here, and I can access it also. So now I will get exactly separate memory allocated. So these, once I will create an object, so it will create a separate memory. So this is not memory creation of the memory is this one. So there actually we are storing the data in the object. Okay, and memory means allocations is everything for us. Okay, similarly if I created one employee class, it can possible we can inherit the class also. To inherit a class we use the extend keyword. Other programming language also inheritance. Inheritance means if we are taking already the something somebody has, I just wanted to be use it actually. Suppose actually I'm new manufacturing of the car, so what I will do actually, I will actually bring the tire from the somewhere like Apollo and the seat and the somewhere other company's tires. So I will inherit these tires and lights from somewhere and some other thing from the some other companies, and I will just extend that thing into my current class. So I'm just actually saying over there basically you can say X employee, Y employee, or you can say anything, we can say contract, permanent employee, anything we can say. So I'm just saying P employee. The P employee is extended from the employee over here. Okay, so this is basically the base class, or you can say super class, and this is the basically child class. There we can use it also. So child class is saying that exactly I have basically the you can say the address of the basically the employee or permanent employee, you can say, and the name also I required it. Why I require the name? Because whenever actually we will come into the inheritance, so we will always the making the object of the child, not parent class. So we will make the object of this one, so that we can be a child object can be accessible, the parent and child both the thing. So that's why the inheritance will be coming to picture. If you need to be used the basically both the power the together, so we should be used the make the object of this one, and by this object we can access the basically the all the property of our one. So if I need to be access, I need to pass the constructor value over here in the parent one, so I need to be use the super keyword, and here I need to be, I receive the name for only for base class, and this particular address I will use for my own purpose. Over here I will use it over here. So get employee info address, get P employee info address I will write down over here, so that we can differentiate between these two functions. And right now actually I'm making one exactly over here. So this is employee one, because employee already I made it, otherwise we will get an error. So this is employee one, and here exactly I will make it a new object that is called mysquare, or you can say ys exactly, and new, and I'm just saying p employee over here, and here exactly I'm just writing down the address of there. So address can be anything exactly, 1 2 3 XYZ, anything can be possible. The name of employee ABC we will say, or now actually ys we can access the basically the name property, we can say ys, we can say address property, we can actually access it also. Okay, both the thing we can access it and we can use it also. Okay, plus over here basically if I need to access actually the function of ys, exactly we can get the function it also. So simply this is the function of that. I will get it exactly whatever I pass the address over here. But ys can access the basically the get employee also. Whatever the employee has it, whatever the value we pass it, we pass the ABC over here. So this is the object of the class child one, and that access the both the parent and child. So this is the beauty of the inheritance. The inheritance means basically inherit the basically the existing already the parent properties into the child property, and that is basically we can utilize it also. Okay, and that is very powerful, and we are using it exactly so multiple places also. Okay, so JavaScript basically this keyword is actually very crucial in the function also, in actually prototype also, earlier we are using it also, and nested function also. Take another example, we have basically arithmetic class over here, you can say calculator also, we have constructor over here, there we will exactly if anything I need to initialize, I will initialize. So I will say this dot values over here. So initially I'm saying value will be the 0. So we can initial value also, that constructor always call once the basically class object will be called. So this is object creation. So if I create an object, automatically it will call it. Does not, we don't need to be call it manually, automatically call it. Sum. We wanted to the sum of it. So what I need to do exactly, in JavaScript we have basically spread operator, as we discussed earlier. Spread is nothing, so I told you the 3 dot dot is spread. There is also one more operator that is called basically very similar to that, exactly we call it rest operator. Very similar. Spread is basically nothing, so if anything you want it to be the single word, and that will later on the spread in the form of array or object or anything can be. Generally we use basically object with array only, but rest is basically used for particular for parameter specific thing. So I need to sum the value, but I don't know exactly how much value I can pass it also over here. So I was simply saying the add over arguments, anything we can say. So I'm saying it exactly, it can be the one parameter, it can be 2, 3, 4, or multiple parameter can be possible. All the parameter, whatever the parameter we will pass, that will automatically will be converted into the array. So we can see by the console log. Okay, once the basically the value will become over here, what we will do, we will just, as we already discussed, the reduce functions. Reduce is nothing, this is basically used to basically sum. If I need to be the basically sum of something, so I can use the basically reduce functions, and reduce is basically we discussed over here. Okay, so this is function, there we can utilize it. So I just copy it and need to be put it over below. So whatever the parameter we will pass it, I just need to be the sum of it, and we already discussed about it. We don't need to pass the return keyword directly. Whatever the value we have, we can exactly pass it. So what I'm saying it actually, I'm saying sum, actually I'm telling it to current, whatever the current value we have, I'm just saying the sum plus current value, and we will see the 0 of it. Initial values actually I'm just passing the 0, so that exactly you don't need to be make it exactly further over. So similarly I'm just basically using, and one more thing actually here, actually I'm returning it the basically whatever the result will be calculated, I'm returning the complete. This means current object, I'm returning the current object. Here exactly I'm just using the another one, basically value over here. So if single value if you need to pass, I will use the value. What the value will be do, so value equal to this dot value plus whatever the value we will pass as a parameter. So whatever the existing value we have, we hold the class hold the value, it will plus the whatever the current value I passed it, and finally I will say the again the return this. Similarly we can make the subtract also. We can make it subtract, multiply, and some other thing also. So we can use the subtract also. Subtract is only differences all over here. That's it. After that, once our class will be ready, so what we will do, we will just exactly create an object of that. So I'm just saying arth over here, the new arithmetic class over here. nothing. After that, actually, what I will say it actually sum. I'm just summation over there 8 moment 10 over here. So let's see what is the sum will we get. You can see sum will we get exactly. I just passed arithmetic value is actually 298. Okay, that is basically 1 second. No, exactly we will pass actually this is argument, whatever the argument we passed over there, and this is actually argument we have. After that, actually reducing the value, and reducing value is actually result is actually unexpected is coming, right? Sum we passed 1 second. This is not array exactly, we just pick it up from the top, so that's why we get 90. That is perfectly fine. Another good thing is exactly I can use it exactly 4. I just wanted to be added 4. After that, I just wanted to be use the basically subtract the value, because whatever the total will become, I just need to subtract from there 10. So final value after all the operations is 13 is the left. So we can say this is called chaining. By the class, chaining is possible if you will return this. Return this means this function is executing. After that, what the function required another object that will hold all the values. So that means this dot add, again this dot subtract. So like a way it will get the values. So this is called function chaining, that by which exactly we can get the values, and we can actually all the functions we can execute in the sequence. Okay, so this is a basically example of the class there is basically JavaScript has, and basically we use it. So this is basically all over the basically overview, or you can say all the fundamental of the JavaScript. We should be focused on it, all this topic, and this every topic is actually basically it's also not there is actually lot of example, lot of basically functionality, lot of basically scenario based question also. Lot of stuff we have it. Like the array we have a lot of big topic, function is also big topic, class is also closure, prototype we have, call apply bind we have, and so many other things also we have, like spread, rest operator we have, so many different we can use it also. So we'll actually basically we should be actually basically write down the example and basically come with some scenario base, and we need to be write down also. The future also I will make some videos on the basically every topic wise, so that exactly we can utilize and we can learn together. So you guys need to be just write down the comment in the below, so and whatever the topic you guys wanted to be the basically cover in the basically you want exactly learn in the future, so you can just write down the below comment, so that I will actually basically make the video on it in the further in the future also. Okay, so I will try to upload the every week the new videos, so that we can learn and we can make it also get together, and just exactly you need to be just focus on the basically the practical things over here. Thank you guys to joining. Thank you.